Yo, Cardi B just converted her whole Instagram profile into a resume for an adult male. She is desperately marketing this guy to NFL franchises like some broke apprentice with aspiration, while his external nursery collapses over toddler's birthday event. Meanwhile, Stefon Diggs, dude, woke up, braided his hair with crispy blonde ends, and honestly believed it was the moment to perform devoted father. Cardi B herself published an image on her grid ranking the elite receiving yardage leaders throughout the past decade, highlighting Davante Adams, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mike Evans, and her boyfriend Stefon Diggs. Adding the phrase, "No confusion." She uploaded that the exact period Diggs was recorded at his toddler Peyton's inaugural birthday celebration with an alternate baby mother. The function, carnival-styled, organized alongside influencer Kay Benji in May 2026. The parent of Stefon's infant Peyton. Cardi genuinely assumed inserting that MVP update across our feeds would blindside everyone. Bro, we literally witnessed the carnival uploads. Next, let me expose the actual records that prove exactly why this strategy imploded. Fine, let me guide everyone across the literal paper trail because this is not gossip. This is certified. Exhibit number 1. Cardi B published that image onto her personal profile and the quote was, and I quote, "No confusion. Fin. 2 words. No digital smiley softening it. No humorous little disclaimer. Simply no confusion, like she is an attorney presenting a final statement to the league. When I analyzed this, I thought, you look like you are submitting affidavits. That is the vibe of someone attempting to persuade an executive recruiter, not a lover cheering her mate. Bro has Cardi out here drafting employment essays in Helvetica. Exhibit number 2. Stefon's kid's initial birthday occurred the weekend of May 9, 2026. And Stefon Diggs consolidated with Kay Benji, that is Peyton's mother, for a lavish carnival-styled festival with attractions, decorations, the entire presentation. The media displays him grinning, cradling the infant, executing the promotional shots. And look, credit where it is deserved. He arrived. He funded that. I mean the absolute baseline. But he delivered. Regardless, nobody informed this guy that appearing at a toddler's festival while possessing multiple alternate baby mothers lurking around will activate the whole web. Exhibit number 3. Another one of his past partners, KJ. The individual followers claim has her title inked across Stefon's torso. Wrote, "I literally know I lost all admiration for bro." That is a precise phrase published while the festival footage was still circulating. When I observed that, I performed a massive double take. KJ girl, you lost admiration because a parent attended his OWN child celebration. No, that is false. That is someone furious regarding an alternate situation, masking it as a maternal critique. That is the clumsiest flex I have ever witnessed, broadcasting envy and labeling it boundaries. Exhibit number 4. Days following, on May 13, 2026, TMZ secured footage capturing Cardi B screaming at Stefon Diggs outside an espresso venue in a fitness center in Burtonsville, Maryland. That is Stefon's native territory close to DC. Minus sound, purely imagery of Cardi directly in his space. Cardi herself reacted stating, "Occasionally I overlook that I am famous." Nah. Bro. You forgot you are a celebrity. You are the most prominent MC breathing. You do not overlook that. You elected to handle it out here. That spot right there is where Stefon lost his mind, letting an international megastar battle him in an open lot like they ran a flea bazaar. Exhibit number 5. Stefon's ex-personal chef, Mila Adams, went completely on record. She informed the street she went to court, took the stand, and that Diggs supposedly promised her $100,000 to flip her testimony. She additionally claimed on social media, exact quote, "You know exactly who he really is. He did it to you." That is directed at Cardi. When I reviewed that, I had to drop my device down because whether you trust Mila or not, those are the type of accusations that trail a guy into every locker room he attempts to step into. Bro, you cannot have that swirling in the air and assume squads will roll out the carpet. Exhibit number 6, the Patriots. Stefon Diggs was notified on March 4, 2026 that the New England Patriots purposed to dump him after merely one winter of a 3-year deal. One winter of 3. The deal was barely warm and they cut him. He validated it himself in an update to followers and E! News covered the official execution after only completing period 1 of the 3-year contract. That is not roster manipulation. That is, we want you outside this facility. Now that we have the quotes, let us tie the variables. Alright, here is where it gets psychotic. Let us place the tiles down and view the sequence they crashed. That MVP graphic surfaced within days of the Maryland asphalt battle. Like the ink was not even dried on the breakup gossip. The upload was not random. It was frantic. Now anchor this. The termination from New England occurred in early March. By May 9th, insiders were claiming Cardi was granting Stefon an alternate shot after February's split. So track the pattern. February they separate. March he gets axed. May 9th, public restoration. May 13th, they are scrapping in an open lot. The MVP upload drops right in that crease like she is attempting to paste something back together with editing apps. That birthday event, it materialized in the same window Cardi was being advised by public consensus to walk away. Stefon's brothers arrived. His mother arrived. Cardi was not present. That is the detail nobody is targeting. The mother-in-law hype train was in full rotation for someone else's baby bash. And Stefon honestly believed nobody was tracking who received an entry and who did not. The Maryland spot. That is not neutral turf. That is Stefon's home soil. Cardi flew inside his sector to challenge him. That is not a lover dropping by. That is someone motoring across state boundaries because the cellular conversation did not suffice. Dude forced the woman to board a jet to argue. That is a strategy of someone who is not brilliant with his harem. And here is the ultimate point. Legends and commentators openly declared the Patriots detached themselves partly due to the off-field circus encompassing the pair's antics. So the harem drama did not remain in the house. It marched into Gillette Stadium and got him fired. So Stefon really pulled this 3 months following losing his occupation. That is atrocious timing. Bro, any bright individual would have transitioned like a ghost. But Stefon is not bright. He is a media assembly line. Now observe this. Nobody is discussing it. Zoom in on the singular word confusion. Why that term? Why not backing? Why not romance? Why not even reality? Confusion is the phrasing of someone who has been manipulated. That term does not manifest in a passion post. That term manifests in a defense brief. She is not informing us there is no confusion. She is informing him that little 3-syllable option betrays the entire mental status of the upload. And Stefon really did not realize that his woman was publicly derailing his depth chart. Humiliating. Now look at the layout. Cardi did not draft a caption. She crafted a graphic, a list, an invoice-style layout. That is not devotion. That is documentation. People build graphics when they require screenshots to circulate. She did not intend her lover to feel valued. She intended press outlets to grab a static frame of his name beside Travis Kelce. That is PR engineering, not romance. If Stefon possessed half a brain, he would notice his woman is executing his representative's assignment for free. Now, focus onto the braids. The specific blonde-tipped braids he sported to the birthday function. That is not a grooming option. That is a branding option. A mature wide receiver materializing at his daughter's carnival in a haircut that screams, "I am still a brand." Is someone more invested with frame placement than with fatherhood and peace? That hair was for the optics, not for Peyton. And his harem could not decode that. That is the issue with that entire circle. They do not read beneath the print. Now look at KJ's phrasing. I lost all admiration for bro. She did not utter I am injured. She did not utter I am finished. She uttered admiration. Admiration is what you extract when you use to assume someone was a monarch. That wording betrays her entire posture. She still assumed she was royal in line 1. The birthday function did not shatter her heart. It shattered her placement. Bro assumed that upload was a clean strike. No, that was admission. And one final detail, Mila deploying the phrase, he did it to you. That is a phrase calibrated to land in legal folders later. That is not a tweet. That is deposition preparation. When someone selects vocabulary this specific, they are assembling a public archive. And Cardi broadcasting MVP visuals during all of this. That is the transparent tell of all. You do not publish credentials for someone who is not hemorrhaging authority. Stefon assumed she was flexing. She was masking. Now, let us track how the press twisted this entire theater. Page 6 presented the whole MVP upload as Cardi being inside his corner. Mild, nurturing, sweet companion energy. Page 6 even presented Dig's cryptic Instagram uploads as romantic turbulence instead of executive ruin. They intend you to absorb it like a romance chronicle, but recall those two words from previously. No confusion does not sound like a romance chronicle. It sounds like a media statement. TMZ adopted a different route. TMZ presented the Maryland coffee shop clash as an obvious dispute with Cardi visibly frantic. They pushed into the conflict perspective. They are nearer to the reality, but even they diluted it by labeling it a disagreement instead of what it literally was. A mature celebrity motoring to a parking zone in Maryland to manage stuff that should have been managed on the line. Then you have the New York Post operating the Salvation Arc. The Post presented the May 9th gathering as Cardi granting Stefon another opening after the February separation. That presentation is frantic because it dictates she is the one possessing authority. But 4 days following, they were scrapping outside a coffee spot. So either the second opening was a one-day advertisement or someone supplied the press a fiction that did not outlive the week. ABC News 4 broadcasting it as a positive report. ABC News 4 stated Cardi had concluded to grant Diggs a second opening, presenting it as a validated selection. That is the neatest twist yet. The term concluded makes it sound intentional, but recall the track we just navigated through. Selections do not shatter in 4 days. Damage regulation does. Now, certain Stefon apologists are out there claiming the MVP upload is simply Cardi being helpful. No alternative than any alternate companion boosting her man. But those are the matching individuals who did not associate that the upload dropped immediately after the parking lot tape. The evidence does not deceive and the scheduling does not deceive. Even Us Weekly anchored Cardi's reservation surrounding the termination to the grander array of off-field accusations. When even the publication that thrives off performer cordiality cannot sugarcoat this, you recognize something is broken. Anyone, snorts, still backing Stefon following this demonstration? You are not dedicated. You are partisan. Here is what nobody is uttering out loud. The corporate narrative intends you to accept this is merely untidy superstar passion. Two celebrated entities, massive egos, theater materializes, sweet narrative, keep moving. But beneath it all rests the truth. This isn't romance. This is cold psychological combat. And Cardi B is currently dropping a chess match she doesn't realize she is enduring. Stefon Diggs has created an entire harem of women who are psychologically desperate to be validated. KJ, K Benji, the cook, the personal aide. Every single one has been trained to battle for the matching crown. That is no mistake. That is a playbook. And the validation that it is a playbook is that the moment Cardi arrived, she didn't collapse the matrix. She adopted it. She began battling, too. That stats list, that isn't a spouse flexing. That is an entrant lifting her arm and shouting, "Choose me." Real talk, when you are the premier female MC on the planet, you do not upload credentials for your partner. You don't need to. Figures at that tier operate covertly. They play styles. They message management. They do not publish graphic designs comparing their boyfriend next to Tyreek Hill. The reality that she is broadcasting it out here explains everything. Stefon has her in a spot where she assumes she requires an audition. And auditioning is the action of someone who already acts replaceable. Now, pivot outward. Remember that birthday festival we already dissected? In a normal environment, your lover would be standing beside you in those images. Cardi wasn't. So, she retaliated with a graphic inside her personal unit rather than existing in his frame. That isn't union. That is parallel marketing. Dude literally has this superstar creating PR text from her sofa while he plays father on someone else's stage. And the timing of the axing from New England. That is where industry commerce turns malicious. The NFL is a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. They do not endure mess, and they especially do not endure the aesthetics of a wide receiver whose chef is alleging a $100,000 retraction payoff. That claim alone is a deal destroyer in a league this severe. The Patriots didn't dump Stefon for athletic deficits. They dumped him because he transformed into a caption. And every NFL front office watching is capturing details. Stefon assumed he was immortal because of his talent. No, every executive in this league has a file on him. Now, here is a societal footprint detail nobody wants to recognize. We are witnessing in real time the death of the celebrity power couple. The Travis and Taylor blueprint was supposed to be duplicated. Baller plus musical icon equals television shares, merchandise, commercial partnerships, championship integration, the corporate golden ticket. Cardi recognized that. She entered this space assuming she was crafting the subsequent edition, and it functioned for a month. The NFL's personal profile literally uploaded Stefon and Cardi after Patrick's victory in November 2025. The brand was right there poised to ignite. And Stefon vaporized it with his own conduct. That is a hidden reality. Stefon Diggs didn't merely drop a contract. He dropped a cultural pact. The Patriots dumping him was management quietly whispering, "We are not centering this company around you." And no quantity of metrics graphics from Cardi can alter that. She is attempting to mend in 1080 by 1080 resolution what an entire corporate board walked away from in an executive room. And the most painful aspect, Cardi herself is one of the final authentic stars we retain. She hands us the chaos, the comedy, the unfiltered, the raw human, and that is precious. We don't possess many left like her. So, witnessing her channel that cosmic influence into anchoring a man whose personal chef was literally building a courtroom case, that is like utilizing a supercar motor to activate a mower. Stefon doesn't merit the promotional capital she is burning on him for free. The apologists out here backing him. They are trapped in the ancient template, the one where metrics dismiss all crimes. That template expired near 2018. We exist in the receipts generation now. Charges endure. Screen captures are permanent. And Stefon lacks the mental clarity to navigate in this era. He is running 2008 football on a 2026 web. Half a decade from today, this stretch right here is going to feature in a streaming documentary as the point he dropped it all. And that is a reality they won't tell you. So, what materializes next? Here is what is destined to occur. Stefon's going to catch a deal. He is still a commodity. Someone will take a gamble on him. Likely a squad that requires a seasoned veteran target and is prepared to gamble on the media storm cooling down. But it's going to be a minimal prove-it agreement. No locked cash worth flexing about. And every press briefing for the remainder of his career is going to commence with a question regarding Cardi or KJ before it ever hits a playbook route. That is going to break him down quietly week after week. He is going to appear desperate answering inquiries regarding his romantic loop on sports television. Bro is about to discover what a humbling press run truly means. And Cardi, she's going to keep uploading. She's going to keep promoting. And the more she uploads, the more the network is going to drive his name into search bars beside allegations, not scores. She assumes she is assisting him. She's actually constructing his search engine trap. Every statistics post places her boyfriend's mess one press closer to whichever executive is investigating him. Now if the flip occurs, if Cardi finally walks away, Stefon is finished. Remember my words. Without Cardi's brightness, the harem has nothing to battle over. The entire charm of existing as a Stefon Diggs co-parent right now is the proximity to a megastar. Extract the icon away and you are merely one of 5 women dividing vacations with a guy who sports fried braids to toddler functions. The internet traction plummets 70% instantly. The commercial partnerships dissolve. The corporate pitches stop coming. He transforms into a basic player with massive complications. And here is a piece that's going to burn. When Cardi transitions, she's going to execute it rapidly. She's done touring. She's got music cooking. She's got every print cover tracking her departure chronicle. Stefon is going to witness a massive evolution from the bench while his representation keeps dialing. He once uttered marrying Cardi was on the list. Supposedly. Yeah, that rock is returning to the case. My guy is not equipped for what materializes when Cardi concludes she is done performing. This entire theater is going to alter how the NFL handles celebrity partnerships for the next generation. Front offices are monitoring. The Patriots trial is a warning sign they are going to pitch in every boardroom session from this point forward. When an iconic girlfriend commands more media than your asset and his off-field litigation attracts more cameras than the partner, that's an enterprise hazard. Executives are going to start drafting character guidelines with full segments dedicated to digital partners and active civil lawsuits. Stefon's name is going to act as the unofficial title for that rule. And societally, this is going to be logged as the point hip-hop and football realized they couldn't simply fuse empires without friction. The romance expired in an espresso parking zone. Every prospective musical athletic union is going to get audited twice before any organization endorses them online. Stefon's brand is going to rot like garbage on a dashboard fast and ugly half a decade from today when someone inputs his name into Google. It's not going to autofill highlights or scores. It's going to autofill Cardi B lawsuit and fired. That is a history he is currently sprinting toward, and there is nothing he can execute to fix it because every action he takes makes it worse. Whatever transpires, one detail's certain. Stefon already dropped the bag. Appreciate the view. If you loved unearthing the authentic timeline, press that like button and tap subscribe so you never miss when we dismantle what everyone else is too terrified to whisper. Strike that bell for updates. And if you require more unfiltered realities like this, tap on one of these uploads next. Believe me, you will want to observe what we unearthed.